Aloha and welcome to this short screencast on how to set up Huboard, Hubbard? Maybe let's call it Hubbard for managing GitHub issues. Now you know that we are using issue-driven project management techniques, which means that all non-trivial tasks should be tracked by creating a GitHub issue that needs to be assigned to a person, and that issue should only require a couple, 3 days at most to finish. But using this standard, GitHub issue mechanism, so if we go into this repository Aqua, and then we go to issues, creating issues and managing them this way is not as easy as it could be. And so we're going to use this technique called Hubbard to make it much simpler to kind of manage the issues, see what people are working on, and particularly we're going to establish this Kanban style workflow. So let's see how that works. What we're going to do is we go to huboard.com. I don't know if that's exactly how we want to call it, and you may have to log in or something and provide a certain level of access, the public access. And then what we'll do is we'll scroll down and find the repo that we're going to work on, which is this Aqua repo. Okay, and so let's assume you've set up a new repo for your particular team. The next step is to set up Hubbard, so you go find it, and this is generally what you'll see when the first time you're using it, is it's going to ask if you want these labels, and say yes, we want those 5 labels. And what they do is they set up these 5 columns: a backlog column, ready, working, review, and done. Backlog means tasks that at some point you want to get to, but they're not something of immediate importance. The ready column will list the tasks that you can work on immediately, and generally once you put something into the ready column, you'll have a developer assigned to that particular task. And then a developer who has a task assigned to them in the ready column, when they're ready to work on it, they move it to the working column. When they finished working on it and it's ready for someone else to see, they move it to the review column. And then finally, when it's all done, move it to the done column. Okay, so that's how that, it's kind of a standard, simple workflow for tasks. But the next thing you need to do, or the first thing you want to do even before creating tasks, is set up your milestones. So we can go here and click Create Milestone, and as specified in the assignment, we want to have a first milestone that's going to be due on, I think, something like November 20th. So we'll create that milestone, and this is actually going to lead to a milestone being created in the underlying GitHub issue system. So if we go to this, you can see, and if we go to Aqua and we go to issues and we go to milestones, we see that actually Hubbard has gone ahead and created a milestone for us. So basically Hubbard is just creating an alternate perspective on the issues and milestones in our system, one that's a little bit nicer and easier. So let's create a second milestone. It's supposed to be called M2. It'll be due, I think it's due like around December 1st. So we'll create that. And what the heck, let's go create our M3 milestone for December, I think it's the 10th. Okay, so we've got our 3 milestones. But following our issue-driven project management system, we're really going to focus just on one milestone, kind of the immediate tasks that we need to work on. We're not going to try to look too far ahead in the future. So what would be nice would be to restrict our view to just a single milestone. And we can do that by clicking on this filters thing, and we can say we're going to set up a filter where we're only interested in milestone 1 stuff. Okay? So if we do that, we can now go over to tasks, and you can see it specifies we've got some filters established. So you can click over here and you see milestone 1 is still set up. Okay, so let's create a few issues, and we'll put them in the backlog area. So one might be to implement or merge the Meteor application template. You know, we have to put that in there. And we want to associate that with the first milestone. Actually, for now, let's clear that, and let's just see what happens when we submit this issue without specifying a milestone. And what we find is kind of cool. It's not, we see it very, I hope you can see this on the video, because it's very light colored, indicating that it's been filtered out. Okay, so we click it again, it comes back, and we go, oh, right, we have a filter, so we're only looking at milestone 1 issues, and I forgot to set the milestone 1. So I do that, and then I just click outside that little dialog box to get it off the screen. And now we have that particular issue in our backlog area, which is what we want. So let's create another issue. This might be, I don't know, set up navbar. Okay, and now we're kind of learning that we need milestones. Okay, I'm going to pause this because this phone call is important for me to take. Okay, so we're going to assign a milestone to this issue and submit that. And now we've got 2 issues. And again, let's just go back, and we can notice that in our issues, we've got those 2 issues set up, and they've got a little label associated with them, which is what Huboard, I guess we'll call it, uses to decide which columns these issues should be in. Okay, so we've got 2 issues. They're in our backlog. And so following the issue-driven project management methodology, all members of the team should always have 2 issues to work on. We'll just show them having 1 issue to work on. But the backlog issues are ones that we're not necessarily sure that we want to work on yet. So let's assume we've gone into a team meeting and we've decided, in fact, we want to have somebody work on merge the Meteor application template issue. So the next thing we want to do is we want to click on it and assign someone. So let's click on the thing, and we see that there's 3 people we could assign. Let's assign me to that one. And then I click out, and you can see my little face is associated with that one. And then let's decide to do the setup navbar as also a ready issue. And so we'll click on that, and then we'll assign someone different, maybe Mike, to work on that one. Okay? So now we've got 2 issues that are in the ready column, meaning that when that developer decides they're ready to work on it, they can now move it over. So let's say I was going to actually start working on this. I can move this over to the working stage, and now I've kind of indicated to everybody that this is the activity that I'm actually working on right now. Okay, and if we go to issues and refresh this, what we can see is that now I've moved this into the working column, and whereas the setup navbar is still in the ready column. So in general, what you want to do with Huboard is have issues ready and assigned to a developer. You want all of your developers in your team to always have an issue in the ready column ready for them to work on. In addition, you always want to have 1 issue at least, usually just about 1, that that each developer is actually working on at the moment. So each developer should be working on 1 issue, and they should also have another issue in the ready column. Now this 1 of 5 means that according to Huboard, you should never have more than 5 issues that you're working on at a time, and I heartily agree with that. I think 1 or the most 2 is probably fine. When I got done with this, I could move this over to the review area, indicating that I want other people to check out what I've done, or potentially move it into the done column. And then that's cool, because what Huboard allows you to do is automatically close that particular issue. Okay, so now that's and if we now go to the issue area, we could see that in fact that issue's been closed. All right, so I think that what you're going to find is that with Huboard, you can you get all the benefits of being able to create issues and move them through this workflow, assign them to people and so forth in just a more graphically nice manner than than what you would have to do if you're using the GitHub issue mechanism. The other thing to note is that it's very easy in Huboard to be able to move things from one milestone to the next. So I could take this and I could drag it over to here. Of course, now since I've got this filter on, you can't see it as well. Let me just clear the filters. Okay, so that if you have a bunch of issues and the milestone is reached and you just want to port them over to the second milestone, that's very easy to do. So I think that using Huboard is going to be a fun thing for everybody, so enjoy it.